Word to brothers and sisters, welcome back to Haiku. I do, and I do it for good hip hop music. Now, in this video, I'm doing part 2 of my top 5 hip hop producers, but this time I'm focusing on the second golden age of South African hip hop, right? And here we're looking at people like the AKAs, KO, Kulichana, Kespa Nyovest. So that's basically a time in hip hop where a lot of brands were now coming on board to basically commercialize hip hop, So they were throwing a lot of money behind it. Rappers were getting endorsement deals, left and right. They were going on shows, everywhere. So it was basically where now hip hop was really becoming lucrative, right? And basically these rappers, they started a wave that people like Nasty C, Aries, and like MT. That's the wave that these guys actually jumped on. It was created by those guys. And the producers who were behind all that music, still there's a lot of producers to go into, but if I have to choose 5 again, I would have to go with those that I consider to be my personal favorites. So the first producer, in no particular order, that I would like to take a look at, it's a group collective called Ivy League, and it comprises of AKA, Bugs, and Gamza.
Sure. That one Soweto boy is PRO. Not back, I've been here in Biggie, It's fine. I see what I see.
Now the thing about Ivy League, they started blowing up after they made beats for Pro Kid. So when they were in studio with Pro Kid, AKA actually learned how to localize his own sound, which is why AKA actually went on to become one of the first rappers to basically have platinum selling albums while having no vernac raps at all in his music. Now a lot of rappers are doing it, but at that time it was difficult for a rapper to have a multi-platinum selling album while you're using no vernac in your music. So that's something that AKA actually learned a lot from spending a lot of time in studio with Pro Kid, because even Pro Kid used to rap with a strong accent, right? Like he had a twang, but no one ever accused him of sounding American, because he knew how to actually localize the sound, and that's something that AKA learned. So so after Ivy League blew up with those beats, they went on to produce for people like Kulichana. They had a lot of hits for Kulichana. They produced, I think, AKA's first 2 albums as well. The entire production was handled by Ivy League, and I think they made songs for Tear Gas as well, and also Reason. So as a hip hop collective, Ivy League really redefined the sound at the time, because they're making a lot of production which is a bit futuristic. When you listen to the kind of elements that they had in their music, it was very live, it was very futuristic at the time. So they were kind of ahead of their time. So one of my favorite songs that they produced is a song they did for AKA called I Want It All. From the sky to the ground, when it hits the floor, skabatikati babaisa so, skabo jamani babaisa zo, but taxi drivers bar chaisa so, bomzala babaisa ko. That's my jam right there, man. I love that song, and it's also special to me because when I went to Pro Kid's memorial service, which was in Baseline, when AKA and Kulichana got on stage to perform that song as a tribute, because the song, it was the AKA song featuring Kulichana and Pro Kid. So when they performed that song at his memorial, man, it was, I couldn't fight back the tears, man. It was such a special moment. So yeah, for me, definitely Ivy League definitely deserves to be in my top 5. Now the second producer on my list, his name is Tumelo, but goes by the name Tweezy. Tweezy, who's actually producer of the year in 2015, I think. Yeah, I think he was named producer of the year. in 2015, and now he's the head of A&R at Ambitious Entertainment. The thing about Tweezy, he's not one of those producers that you call when you're trying to put together a hip-hop album, right? If you have a conceptual album, he's not the guy to call. You only call Tweezy when you need a radio hit that's going to fuck up the charts. He's that guy. He's a sniper. When you need that song that's going to break the charts, you definitely call Tweezy. I mean, that dude, if you look at all of AKA's top 10 hits, I'm sure half of them were produced by Tweezy. You know, songs like Run Josie, even for MT, I think MT's Roll Up was done by Tweezy. Aris's Paradise, I think who else? So yeah, like Tweezy is that guy. Like I think there was a period where he basically ran the airwaves. I think if you look at the times from probably around 2010 to 2015, a lot of the radio hits at the time, particularly with South African hip hop, it was definitely Tweezy behind them. So he's definitely a hit maker for sure. Definitely deserves to be in my top 5. Now the rapper who goes on my number 4 is actually Ben. In the industry, you know him as Gemini Major.
Man, you should hate yourself. Look into a mirror, nigga, rate yourself. Look at the shit that we doing, motivate yourself. Brace yourself. I done got my motherfucking juice back. I done got my motherfucking...
Now, Gemini Major, Malawian born, is actually another hit maker. He's another Tweezy. I think he's one of the few producers who can go head to head with Tweezy on a versus battle. So yeah, Gemini is a dope producer, Mr. Raga Raga Raga, which is a dope song that he did there. He also did a lot of hits, man. I think he did Miss DC's Juice Back. He also did one of my favorite songs, Mayo by DJ Speedster. And he also did Ditumbo Weni by Casper. Now with that Casper song, I think that's how he actually got signed to Casper's Family Tree record label at the time, because of the production he was doing with him at the time and a lot of other artists that were affiliated to Casper. So Gemini Major, definitely a hit maker. I think now he spends a lot of time in SDC's camp. I think he's doing a lot of quality control there. But yeah, definitely deserves to be in my top 5 of producers. Okay, now on my number 4 spot, I've got not Mesh Beats, but I've got Ganja Beats, which is a hip hop collective of producers by brothers Ash and Himal, and I think they had a third person. It was their friend Marty, I think. Yeah, so it's definitely Ganja Beats. Now I actually could have put Mesh Beats in my top 5 instead of Ganja Beats. I could have put Mesh Beats. The only reason I didn't, even though Mesh Beats actually has a much more extensive catalog than Ganja Beats, but with Ganja is that the very few songs that they were able to produce, they actually had a much more bigger cultural impact than some of Mesh Beats songs. I mean, if you play Mesh Beats, if you play Meanwhile in Honeydew by Aries, you know, in a concert, you know, the Aries fans might lose their minds. But if you play Nafukwa by Rick, you know, like you're going to shut the whole place down. So it's not even about being an Aries fan. Like with Ganja Beats, the music that they make was so influential within the culture. And these guys actually came from Northwest, and I think they actually went to the same primary school as Casper at some point. So I think, you know, that's why even now when they were in the industry, their whole relationship actually kind of came full circle, because they ended up making beats for Casper, which I think that's how they actually got introduced into the industry. So yeah, man. one of my other favorite songs that they produced is Mama I Made It by Casper, which that song sounds very, very familiar to Drake's song called We Made It, and he features who's that kid? They call him Young Draco. Soldier Boy. Drake features Soldier Boy on a song called We Made It, and it sounds exactly similar to Casper's song, which is Mama I Made It. So I'm not sure if that's biting or sampling, but there's definitely a story there. But yeah, definitely Ganja Beats deserves to be in my top 5 of producers. Last but not least, on my number 5 spot, I actually have Gift, who goes by the name PHOX.
Yeah. Toi, da, toi, da. Yeah, yeah. Et toi, da, toi.
Now, 2 things certify PHOX as one of the best to ever do it for me, right? The first is the fact that he actually discovered Aries. I think he was the first person to record Aries in his demos, and I think those are the demos that Aries eventually went on to get signed to Ambitious Entertainment with. So I know that PH definitely has more recordings of some Aries songs that were never released. So that's one. He definitely gave us Baby Boy. And the second reason is for all the hits that he did for Kulichana. I mean, he definitely put Kulichana on the map with a lot of smash hit songs. And PH Roman has always been that guy. Like, he's been a big brother to a lot of artists in the industry, and not just hip hop only. I mean, even artists like Mendoza, artists like Thandiso Mazwai, and who else? I think Shoma Josie as well also had a lot of hits from PHOX. So definitely a guy you have to look out for. And I think it would be inappropriate of me, to end this top 5 without playing a song by Kulichana called Happily Happy. And I think it's just, when you look at the video, it's one of my favorite videos of all time, that song, because it kind of encompasses the entire mood, that entire era of hip-hop in terms of who was important and who was playing a pivotal role in pioneering this whole hip-hop movement at that time. So anyone is actually on this video. Your KOs, aka Pro Kid, Stogie T, Reason, Kulichana himself, you've got Tasman, you've got DJ Kenzero, you've got Miss Cosmo, like anyone who was important and influential in the game at the time. Even the Major League DJs, I think, are on that video. So I definitely cannot end this video without playing out with a video by Kulichana called Happily Happy. And the interesting thing is that Casper is actually not on this video, so I don't know what that says, but all I'm saying is anyone who was very important in the hip-hop culture at the time definitely was on this video, so let's definitely check that out. The ads are gonna be the death of us, eh?
What's weird is, Joe, we used to rap about this shit. And now it's happening.
Look, I ain't got half a book of buzz, but everybody's watching. I ain't said a word wise, everybody nodding. Hey, what's up, my guy? You ain't never seen me coming. I'm behind so darling already, everybody's bobbing. I'm a pro, throw a fit if it don't make a profit. 50 G's a show head, nigga about to top it. Hey, now how not yoko, why you take it in your pocket? But how not look to leave that part of you ain't gon' pop it. Stop it, see that bit, but I got this, remind me. First I gotta catch this deposit, and box it. All's for the taking, house sale kente, then you be a
star in the making is 20. Feel retarded, number one CH. Rocker, Coolichon, PH, we ain't stopping. We got a new one busting and we ain't none. We gon' do it happily, 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 every time I spit it, they say it's God-given. Nobody beneficial as me in a hot minute. There's plenty other fish in the sea, but I can get Christopher Reeves out of his seat when I'm finished. I once heard that Watucker was the family tree. Now we raking the leaves, plus raising our seeds. Thus is PH, raw, excellent beats. We gon' do it over and over, again and again. I keep coming in, coming to win. I'm running again, breaking out some colors. I dig my not to them state that I'm in. I see the roster states that I'm in, like Bella first pick. Going to Nicholson, turn up my mic, man. The whole crowd is listening. I'm glistening, they wishing I would roll like a Michelin. New heights from Town, the dope that I'm giving it.
Boy, say something.
Yo, what's up? Do it reason I'm ass on that conca with cats that been cool since Doink was. I was 19 when 6 Bar was blowing up, and since then I grew a few thou while blowing some. I mean the album's doing just alright. I just need a tall stack of dough like Muff Town, right? Hustling for pleasure, I'm not those guys. Number one is kinda better when it pops off twice. Like the vibe is nice and easy, we're born and rain, and I am just as pleased, we're born and rain with the south and west and east and another rain. You now rocking with the T.O. the double talk, never say. White the club silicon, lost was some F-town beginning up the beginning. Spit out lyric events, split up the dividends. Miller pushing the heights, so we got to do it again, my friend. 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 Happily happy. Man, you know, I would give a whole arm and a leg, man, to go back to those days of Mufftown Heights, you know, when hip-hop was definitely in its heights. I mean, there's like literally everyone in this video. I think I saw JR there as well, Dallas, Double HP, rest in peace, you know. So definitely it was a whole movement in the culture, you know. So yeah, that's basically the end to my top 5 of hip-hop producers in the second golden age of South African hip-hop. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and remember, take care of your mental, and peace and love. I'm out.